All right, and welcome to the stream. How we doing? Time to get into it. This, unfortunately, may be the only stream of the week, so we'll try to make it count. We're going to get back into Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, see if we can make some progress on this. I was kind of hoping maybe we'd be able to finish this game tonight, and then I was thinking, like, well, if we finish it relatively quickly, maybe I could do some Final Fantasy VIII, because we were literally at the last boss on that one, but then I started thinking what kind of progress we had to go through this one, and I remember there were several levels. I think probably the worst of it is behind us. We probably did the most challenging stuff in this game, but there is definitely going to be some trying times. There's still some puzzle oriented levels that we have to get through. And I remember there was some relatively tough platforming we need to do as well, so we'll kind of see what it ends up looking like. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see if we can get this done or get something going here. Let me see if this is actually pulling up too. Oh, there it goes. I did like double back out to the game window. But I think we got it. Okay, let's see. Underneath the Sphinx, no. We're at Menkari's Pyramid, I believe. Okay, so we just got here last time. We just did the gauntlet of stuff that we needed to do underneath the pyramid. So there was a bit going on there. I do remember this section a bit. Right before I ended the stream last time, we came across a giant scorpion. So giant scorpions are now trying to kill us. In addition to everything else, there's also still going to be Von Croy's men and possibly some other things. I don't remember the specifics or the details, but I'm sure it'll come up. But yeah, we're going to have to go up and scale some pyramids, which should be interesting. So we'll go ahead and try to get through that. Then I believe we need to go through some towns, and there's going to be some puzzle elements and some catacombs, from what I recall. And then after that, we might get to the big pyramids themselves. And then it's kind of home free after that. There is, I remember, like a maze sequence, and possibly something else after that, but I don't know exactly what it was. How much ammo do I have? I got 53 of these. There are going to be quite a few of these things, so I don't know if I should be saving my ammunition for this or what. Ah, hey, there it is. Here's one of the pyramids. We do need to get on top of this one. Let's see. Yeah. Boy, the skies sure look redder. They look pretty ominous in the remaster version too, but it looks like hell literally broke loose with the red there. So kind of neat. I don't know, let's take a look around real quick before we get into that, just in case there's anything around here. Kind of doesn't look like it. I'm sure we'll get into it. I remember some of these being weird, like there were jumps that you could make that I wasn't sure if you could or couldn't. That one was kind of cutting it close. Hold on. I'm looking at things, making sure the stream is set up properly, and I got these scorpions trying to come after me and kill me. Oh yeah, and look, there's some buildings and shit over here. We may have to go do this first. If we can even get in there. I think this is what I was talking about last time. I remember there being a sequence where you had to like get to a guy sort of quickly. And this may have been it. Like I was thinking he would, like die maybe, if you didn't get to him in time. Let's see. Can we get in there? Oh shit. Hold on. I wasn't prepared. I think that was it. You need to, like, get to him, and then you need to kill the scorpion without killing him. Maybe it wasn't a timing thing. Maybe it was just, like, don't kill the other guy. I don't know if the explosive rounds will work all that well here, but let's see. But yeah, essentially there's some kind of factor going on. No. Oh, shit. Yeah, the explosives blew him up. Okay. Well, hold on. We could do this instead, baby. Because I know there's a couple things you can equip the laser sight to. Hold on. Alright, put it away. Okay. There we go. So let's try the laser sight and see if I can pinpoint this giant scorpion. Dumb beetle. Nope, that's not it. There it is. Okay, cool. I think we saved him.
Allah be praised. For a moment I thought I was dead for sure. Please.
I thought you were dead for sure, for sure.
And hide in the pyramid of Minkari. Save yourself from these abominations.
I don't know. I think we need to get into the pyramid anyway, so... Fuck that lobster. It's a little red, isn't it? Welcome in, Akuma. Yeah, the giant scorpions are not to be trifled with. Maybe you get the keys anyway. Also, I remember the keys looking like play school keys. Like, they look like a toddler toy. Let's scroll over to those and just see. But I do... Yeah, look, they're like all these weird bright colors. Why? But anyway, I remember getting into the pyramid anyway, so maybe you still get them from him, but you just don't get the cutscene? I don't know. Does he give you anything else? Oh, no. Okay, I think I know what it is. There was a lockup somewhere, I think further in the level. It actually might be a couple levels away. And there's like a lot of good shit in there, with some weapons and ammunition. So I think what it was is that you need to rescue him and he gives you like extra keys, or I don't know, something happens where you get this set from him and then you have access to that lockup a little bit later. But I don't think we're going to see that for a minute. I think it's a couple levels away. But I'm pretty sure we need to get back into the pyramid anyway, so I think I need to get back over here. We'll see how I can do that in a second. Let me actually make a save. There we go. Okay. Question is, how do I get back over there? If that is indeed what I need to do. Because all these platforms are like slanted. Yeah, I could have sworn I remember getting up that pyramid and it was like sort of hard to do. So I don't think there's anything back here that we need to do. I don't even think there's anything we can get it to over here. Maybe. Oh no, I guess this kind of looks like it might be something. Huh. Well... maybe up top? Shit. That is not what I meant to do. I backed out a couple two times too quickly. Alright, hold on. No, she slides down off of that. I don't suppose this guy has anything else to say. No, Laura. Don't showcase your guns to him. That's intimidating. Yeah, that looks... out there, it looks like it's too far. I'm pretty sure I can't make any of that. It's like way too far. Don't worry, I got this. Screaming is heard in the distance. Yeah, he gave him the keys. He gave her the keys for nothing, really. Nope, she slides off of that too. My only recourse here is to backflip and then jump. There we go. I can't get over this, can I? Doesn't look like it. I'm surprised this much is modeled out this way. Normally, if you can't see it, like if you wouldn't be able to see it by naturally getting that way in the game, they don't bother modeling it. We've already seen that back in Cairo. I can't shimmy across the bottom. And that over there is just too gosh darn far. I wonder if you grip onto this. Oh yeah, look. Here we go, maybe. Okay, yeah, that's the ticket. We just have to shimmy across the upper area, and then we got it. I think, hopefully. It almost looks like that. Slants a little bit too far. I gotta really put on my thinking cap. I want to try to get through this as quickly as possible. So we gotta make sure that we don't have any screw-ups. All possibilities are challenged immediately. This one will be interesting, though, because, yeah, like I said, there's going to be a couple challenge puzzle-type areas. There is a bit of an issue with some of the pyramid sections here, and that some parts, I don't know, it's a little bit hard to judge sometimes what you can stand on and what you can't. And then there are instances where you might have to, like, grip onto something and shimmy across. How far do I think Lara would get in Ninja Warrior? She'd probably be a shoo-in to actually win the thing. That'd be my guess. I remember there's several of these things that pop out. I might as well just try to whip out a shotgun and see if I can take them out relatively quickly. There's another thing with this, and then I remember there being a couple parts where I think you have to, like... Oh, I don't know. Oh, shit. You have to, like, drop down. What the hell was that? And then go back up a different route, so you have to, like, jump over across something and then go down, and then that leads you to another path that goes up. Kinda sucks. I'll make a quick save with, like, every jump, because this is a pain in the ass. Okay. I think we got the keys. Cool. So we would have needed to talk to that guy first just to get in here. Alright, our first pyramid. Oh look, and there's already like swinging axes and shit. What ancient pyramid would not be complete with death axes that swing in the narrow hallways? shooting at? Oh. There is, in fact, another bat over there. That little big old brick there looks discolored enough where it might actually be another path. Actually, that for sure. That's got to be something. That might be a door that opens up, but yeah, it's like... I don't know, something weird about it. The other stuff on the other side doesn't look quite as suspicious. Was that the Star of David? I think that might drop down or something. I don't know why the camera panned up there, but it's got to be significant at some point. Oh, hey, mummies. Great. These guys are always invincible. Is there something in here? Got some shotgun shells. That's a good start. I was wondering if she could knock him down, but I don't think she can even do that. We had a slight experience with the mummies previously, but we didn't really do too much with them. Also, I got in the thing. We're in the bowl, but there doesn't seem to be anything in here that we can do anything with. At least you can get in and out relatively easy. Okay. Hold up. Let me see. No. Oh, there we go. Okay. We had to shoot that. And then what did that do? Everything up here looks the same. Did something change in the giant bowl? Oh, it opened up a door. Okay. That's what it was. Forgive me, I'm going to be stumbling over the controls a minute while I get used to Tomb Raider again. I've been playing too much. The only thing that I've been playing like off stream is Monster Hunter. That's it. But its control scheme is so different, it will screw me up. Fortunately, I have the basics with Tomb Raider down, so I don't think we're in danger of like killing ourselves, but it will probably be a little tricky when it comes to menu navigation. I bet you spikes eject out of those. I remember watching somebody, they were doing a nomad no load run of this game. They died here, and I was like, God damn, what a shame, because it's so far into the game. This is pretty close to the end. I mean, relatively close. This is a very long game, so there's still, you know, for the average player, probably a few hours of gameplay left, I'd suspect. But, yeah, for somebody doing like a nomad no load, where they're doing everything just in one go, God, it sucks. But I think they died on the rope swing. They like accidentally jumped too early. The ropes are super, super finicky. We've seen that in like the Alexandria portion of the game, where it was like, it seemed so finicky that I wasn't even sure that was where I needed to go. I'm like, this can't be what you need to do. This is like too weird, too complex. And no, it was just the ropes didn't work for shit. And it's like you needed to use the ropes to get across from one point to the other. You had to do shit like this where you had to like jump from one rope to the next. And it's like, I just kept like getting close, but not close enough. It was so hard to navigate. And this is actually easier than the part. You would think like the early part of the game in Alexandria would have been easier, but you had to do it at an angle and like readjust yourself. It was a lot harder than it needed to be. Oh, enemies, welcome in. You want to replay this and Chronicles? You think there's going to be one where they do all 6? I bought that 1 through 3 collection twice. I bought it on Steam, and then I bought it again when there was a physical edition that released on PlayStation. Just to have like a collector's edition. I might do the same for this one. I don't know. Now, see, I knew something like that would happen. She went right through the rope. It's just, again, the damn ropes are so finicky. Oh, okay, you're gonna buy them both individually. I got you. Yeah, Angel's apparently still pretty rough, so if you're waiting on buying the collection, I might still wait until they patch it out. I got a streaming friend, 420 Benny, who was going through this collection as well, and he ran into a game-breaking bug that prevented him from continuing forward with it. So apparently they are going to patch it. It will be something that they're addressing. And they did a pretty good job with the last collection where there were like bugs. I don't remember if there was anything like super game breaking with them, but 1 through 3 was a little bit of a mess when it first released. We have streams and VODs that can attest to that. But they did a pretty good job at just making sure everything was patched within, the next 6 months of release. So they did get everything all in good working order, but still kind of a pain. But yeah, Angel of Darkness apparently still a little rough around the edges. Oh my god, what is that? Hold up. You wait right there, sir. Hold on. I don't know. Maybe shotgun will be good enough. I don't even know if we need to fight this thing personally. Last time there were like Egyptian god-looking things, though, we did manage to... Pick it up faster, Laura. We did manage to slip past them without actually having to fight them, but I was told that you can defeat them. I might just, see if I can get past this guy without doing anything. If we don't need to beat him, I don't see the need for me to actually do that. I haven't been going through and getting my photos, so I might need to do this here. Because I need those thumbnails. Yeah, look at that. Oh boy. Angel of Darkness continues to be the black sheep. No luck for it. Was it you, Akuma, that was saying last, when I played that game for Redemption, that you said that was the only Tomb Raider game you ever played? I'm like, what a shame. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, they're working from the base code of the game, which is still broken. Yeah, it was. Okay. That's a shame. Yeah, the base game is still broken and needs work on it, but apparently this collection just got pushed out too quickly. It's kind of similar to how the original game came out. It's got pushed out way too quickly for them to actually patch what they needed to. Well, there it goes again. Which IDOS made these games? Well, Core was the original designers of the first 6 games. IDOS was the publishers, but Core is defunct. I don't know if most of those people are even in the game industry. However, Asper developed these ones, and the nice thing that Asper did was that they got Tomb Raider fans and modders to compile these games and work on them and touch them up for the remasters. I think it would be great if these ended up selling really well, which apparently they're not doing too bad. But if these ended up selling really well, just have the Asper team with the modders, have them make a new game in a similar vein to the classic Tomb Raiders. I bet you, fans would be all over it. But, Crystal Dynamics these days I think is pretty loose with the IP. Because, they were willing to let this one release in 2 separate collections. So hopefully they don't have like a stranglehold over it. They're still kind of pushing the new Tomb Raider shtick, but you know, these collections show that they are open to having more of a classic Tomb Raider approach. Okay, something opened up, but I don't know what it was. Oh, there it is. It's like it had to have been something over here. You play the Flash games to compensate? I don't know what that would be. I can't imagine they'd be too great, though. This might just be an exit. I'm going backwards just in case I need to grip onto something. Oh, no, never mind. Ah! Okay. Well, I should have seen that coming, but I didn't. But yeah, anyway, I mean, you know, the Asper team has all the assets on hand. I bet you they were able to make this collection polished super quickly just on account of all the things that they did for the first collection. So they'd probably be able to compile a new game relatively quickly. You blame Uncharted? Well, Uncharted really was the basis for the newer Tomb Raider designs. It was a mixture of Uncharted and the Arkham games, which were both really big at the time when they rebooted the series. Oh shit, we got poisoned. Look at that poison effect. I don't remember it looking like that in the original. Maybe it did. Holy shit. Okay. She's poisoned. Usually what you need to do, there you go, is just use a med kit. There's like an antidote or something inside. Hey, Mythical, welcome in. How you doing? Here's something. What was that? Yeah, and I got a kick out of some of the aspects of the newer Tomb Raider games. I don't outright hate them, except for maybe the first reboot. And I get that. You don't like the crafting system. You don't like the on-rails experience. I understand. I don't think they were necessarily bad games, but it's not what I like in a Tomb Raider game. I do like the sort of more puzzle aspect of it, and allowing you to kind of like explore and figure things out on your own. You know, they did obviously with this game attempt to do something a little bit more story centric, but it wasn't like over the top like some of the reboots were, or just like focused a little bit on the story too much. See, I thought that would happen. And I definitely like the platforming, obviously, in the originals. So there are certain aspects of the gameplay that are preferable, of course, but you know, it's a new age, new type of game design. I get it. Not all the old stuff can stick. However, yeah, it would be nice if they were able to kind of like keep the balance between the two. I wonder, okay, we have to get on top of this thing. Actually, can I get on that? Okay, I thought I might be able to slip off of that. Oh, whoa. A little bit too far. Got your Elgato working, Mythical? Nice. You get that HDS, huh? Did you have a problem with it? Like where it wouldn't capture or something? I always have like these relatively minor issues with capture cards, and it pisses me off because they happen so infrequently that I tend to forget what the solution is. Like I had one recently where it was not detecting it as a sound output device, and I always have to go into the sound settings and re-register it as a sound device that needs to be monitored by the computer. But like it happens so infrequently that I forget what exactly I need to access when the problem when like the issue comes up. I'm like, wait a second, what do I need to do for this shit? So it's very annoying working with a capture card when on occasion it doesn't work. My favorite video, speaking of like the magnet climbing with the Tomb Raider reboots, is there's a parallel. It shows one of those climbing sequences in the Tomb Raider 2013 game, and it shows Lara climbing up in the middle of the snowstorm, and it looks all epic and stuff in the video game clip. And then there's a counter video that shows what's actually happening, and it's like a red dot that's like on a very fixed linear position. It looks like a like an Atari game. You have X amount of spaces you can move to the left or to the right, and you're just basically controlling the dot and moving between fixed points on a grid. And yeah, that's pretty much the experience when you're doing a lot of those sequences. They did tone those down after a while. I've made my feelings towards the 2013 reboot pretty apparent when I last streamed those games, but yeah, I was not a fan of a lot of what they did with Tomb Raider 2013. Isn't that when it came out? I think it was 2013. The reboot, anyway. Way too many of those sliding sequences, way too many of the fixed grid, like climbing up sections, trying to be cinematic, that kind of stuff is way too frequent. If you had even like 3 times in the game, but no, it was literally like a dozen, maybe even more than that, times where you had to keep doing shit like that, and it just got old. It's not fun. Maybe the first time you go through it, you're like, whoa, what's gonna happen? But it's like, when you know what the outcome is gonna be, it's not very entertaining. Your USB wasn't the correct one. You had to buy USB-C. I got you. It didn't come with a USB cable? That's crazy. It was 2013. Okay. At the same time, like, it feels like that game is so old. I remember getting it on the PS3, and at the same time, 2013 doesn't feel old enough. But then I think about like Underworld and all those games. I think that was like 2009 or 2010 or something like that. So it's been a minute. Legend of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider all sucked. Alright. I mean, opinions. I really liked Rise of the Tomb Raider. I thought Rise was actually as close to the originals in theming and tone as the reboots had gotten. So I really liked Rise. When talking about like all the Crystal Dynamic games, I mean, there was Tomb Raider Legends. I was not a big fan of that one. There was Tomb Raider Anniversary. Cut way too much out from the original if they were trying to replicate the original game. And it was okay, but it was also broken on PC, so I harbored a special resentment for it because of that, because we had to like restart the game on PlayStation when I streamed it last. And Underworld I thought was pretty good. But the problem with Underworld is that it's story-centric, and the story in Underworld is very reliant on the story and Legends, so you have to play that game first if you want to know what's going on. So it was a little bit of a pain in that regard. But outside of that, the gameplay and the game itself was perfectly fine. I liked Underworld. When it gets into the reboot, I really didn't like 2013. I didn't like a lot of the on-rail sequences. I found all the characters annoying. I liked Rise because it was a little bit more reminiscent of the originals, and Shadow was just too much. They went too far into the crafting, and this is a bit of an open world experience, which is sort of interesting. Kind of felt like what they were attempting to do with some of the later core games. Ah, shit. Oh, there's some Uzis down there. So there was like that aspect to it that was kind of interesting, but like the story in particular was really, really bad. I did not enjoy the story like one bit. Every amount of goodwill and good stuff that they had done with Rise with the story was just completely shit canned by the time you got to Shadow, which is unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it went. And great. Now we're in this situation. So I wouldn't go as far as to say everything that Crystal Dynamics did sucked. I don't favor them compared to the original core games. And I should have just reloaded anyway. And I do like some aspects of them, but yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag. But I mean, at the same time, those games, at least for the first few, like in their respective series. God damn it, I didn't know that that went off that far. They sold really well, so I mean, you could say that the masses are all idiots or whatever. I don't say that. I'm just saying you could say that, but I think there's something to it that you know they ended up being as popular as they were. The masses can be idiots sometimes. Maybe, maybe. Let me see if I can maybe go on this backwards. I'm gonna see if she can backflip off of this. Shit, you know what? I should have shimmied and see if I could get onto the get the Uzis or something. God damn it. Well, I didn't need the Uzis, but I don't know. I would have liked to get them. Plus, it probably would have counted as a secret or something. Yeah, like Chronicles, Tomb Raider 2, and Tomb Raider 3. The more I think about it, the more I think Tomb Raider 2 might be my favorite. Tomb Raider 1 is the easiest to get into. I've recommended anybody that's going to get into the classic games play Tomb Raider 1 first because it's going to be the easiest for you to do. Wait a second. There was like that. What was all that? There's a bunch of shit down here. But when I think about the sequels, I do think Tomb Raider 2 might be my favorite. Chronicles is good, but Chronicles has some broken aspects in some of its levels, which isn't great. I think we end up coming back here. This is like that's like the final dungeon, I think. We still got a bit to get through before we get over there. But I do like the anthology style of Chronicles. I did like most of the maps and the themes. I think the idea of like the whole corporate espionage Von Croy building is kind of nice, but there's a lot of shitty levels in that segment of the game that I'm not a huge fan of. I think it goes out on a bit of a whimper, whereas the rest of the game prior to that is pretty solid. Plus the Von Croy levels is definitely where shit starts to hit the fan in terms of like the bugs. So there's that slight little aspect to it. Now hold on, wait a second. Oh, we're all the way at the bottom here. No, that wasn't the final dungeon. Okay, I guess we just needed to get back out of here. Maybe there was like a gate or something. I think there were some more sections that we could get into over in this area. Maybe. Hopefully. Although at the same time, I almost feel like we went through there before. I don't know. It's been a long time, though. We haven't actually been out near the Sphinx in a minute. Here, let's go all the way down to the bottom. I'll save in a new slot. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Tomb Raider Legend. Super short game. I didn't really like a lot of the levels. I didn't really have a problem with the combat or anything per se, but I did feel like they did better with it by the time they got to Underworld. Anniversary, I wasn't too keen on either. Son of a bitch. There we go. And then going back to the classics outside of like Chronicles and everything that we had mentioned, Tomb Raider 3 is fun. It's definitely for vet players. There is a bit of bullshit that goes on with that game. They throw a lot of crap at you. You're kind of expected to either like trial and error or basically just know to look out for. So it's not terribly fun for people that aren't super seasoned with the games. So I usually don't recommend that one to people unless they're pretty familiar with the classics and what the classics do. Oops. I don't know if I can get back up here. I might have to go over this way. There we go. what I'm looking for. Okay. Now that we got the play school keys, we can access all of the locks, maybe. Where does this take us? Also, I read that comment, Akuma. I don't know if I read it out loud, but you had mentioned that you think the new Tomb Raiders feel like Far Cry. I can kind of see it. I don't think it applies to all of them. I don't think it applies as much to the 2013 game, but like sort of the open world aspect and you know the different factions and stuff. But the only thing is that I guess there's like side missions by the time you get to Rise. And actually, you probably do a little bit of side mission type stuff in Tomb Raider 2013 too. I don't know. I guess I could kind of see it. It's not a strong parallel between the games, but there are things there. I get what you mean. What do we get? We got a gas can?
No.
Alright, damn, Laura. Calm down. Let's see what these look like in the original. Okay. Cool. Wait, no. Wait, no, that's just to dump fuel out. Okay, maybe there's already fuel in there. Then what do I need to use it on? I don't think we use the truck for anything. It must be something that we come back to. I'm gonna make a save here, just in case I need to come back to this or something. I'll save over the Sphinx Complex, that's fine. This, I kind of remember getting through, sort of. This is like the big abandoned area that was outside the pyramids. There's a bit of back and forth that needs to happen here. And I think this is the spot where there was the like underground catacombs that we need to get through. There's going to end up being like some puzzle aspects of this portion. Oh shit. Yeah, it was a little bit further than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a simple drop down. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, hold on. It's a little bit far back, don't you think? At least I could kill the bats first. Much safer. Oh crap. That was just a secret. Damn it. I could have done without the large health kit, I'll be quite honest. I mean, I guess it's fine that I got it, but well, you know, it wasn't necessary. Must be seeing things. I thought there was something that flew up behind me. I'm gonna have to switch out, yeah, to the wide shot, I think. It'd just be better for everybody. Okay. Let's not immediately drop. See, this one is perfectly fine. I was gonna say, we gotta drop in just to see if there's anything we need to climb down instead of just like literally dropping in, but we would have been fine. Oh man, we have a raid coming in from Daler. Daler, welcome in. I'll wait for you to pop in. Well, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't say anything. He could be a silent raider at times. Daler, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Welcome in. We're doing a little bit of Tomb Raider Last Revelation here. Hope you guys are doing well. Mrs. Tattooed Gamer, welcome. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you, Daler, for the raid. I do appreciate it. Daler doing a little bit of Tomb Raider. No, I mean, not Tomb Raider. He's doing a little bit of Metal Gear. I'm doing Tomb Raider. We're doing Tomb Raider here. We're doing Last Revelation. He was doing Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. That's right. I forget what we do here. Do we shoot these things? Let's take a look. Gotta go to bed. I got you. I got you. Thank you, Mythical. I appreciate the bits. How are you doing? Good to see you, Daler. Did you do, I don't know what you're doing in Metal Gear these days. Are you just playing for the heck of it, or there's some kind of run you're trying to do with Guns of the Patriots? Tell Laura to lift that shirt. Well, we can take a good look at it, I guess. I can't tell her to lift it. We can't do the shirt lifting until we get to Tomb Raider 5. That's when she lifts up the shirt. But we'll get to that eventually. You're just doing runs for funsies. I got you. The good thing about Metal Gear Solid 4 is that there's a lot of weapons in that game that you can kind of mess around with. There's a lot of different ways you can do a run without having to do anything like specific. And you can make it fun just based on the amount of like different weapons and other shit that you can do in there. Also, that part with the lions and the shit that you needed to shoot out of their mouths, I remember confusing the hell out of me. But you do need to get it because you need whatever that is. What is that? Is that a sheepskin thing? Do we put water in there, maybe? I forget. Western shaft key. Well, we got so much shit right now. There's so many key items. So there's the jerry can. Oh, I skipped it. Water skin. Okay. I think we needed to get that first, and then it comes into play later. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But thank you for the raid, Daler. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the bits, Mythical. And then thank you, Mrs. Tattooed Gamer, for the follow. I appreciate that as well. We're also getting through this game. I'm closing in on the end of it. We're nearly through, and boy, what a trying experience this has been. I talked about it before. I think we've mentioned it several times. I don't remember if you were here for any of that, Daler. I used to love Last Revelation. I think it used to be my favorite. And there's still a lot of stuff that I like about this game. In particular, like the atmosphere, the theme, the story. Some of the levels are really cool. But holy shit. This game is long and it's confusing. There are aspects to it that I really don't like. There was the backtracking between levels that got really annoying. So there's a number of things. I'm kind of glad we're wrapping it up. I'm excited to get into Chronicles. I would be excited to get into Angel of Darkness. I'd be actually really looking forward to doing Tomb Raider 6, but apparently it's still broken. And we're just kind of waiting on an update to see what happens. So if it comes to that point, I don't think there's been any significant patches for this game just yet. So they're probably still cooking up something. But as soon as the patch hits, if we're not already like nearly there, I might have to hold off on doing this complete playthrough until the game gets fixed up to a point where it's actually playable. See, I thought I saw something there, but I wasn't sure. It's so dark. He's come back from the bathroom. Welcome back. Ooh, a regular sized scorpion? What the hell? I got all used to the big ones. Whatever I said, you'll disagree with. fight to death about it. I don't know if I was talking about your comparison between Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raiders, and the Far Cry series. I'm like, and then I talked. The more I talked about it, the more I talked myself into seeing. Yeah, I guess I could see it. I was a little bit apprehensive to agree with that, though. But I eventually did. What is this? Is it just shit on the exterior? I guess it is. What does it look like in the original? Oh, okay. It's just a thing. It's just sitting there. You heavily disagree with that, okay. Even though you were the one to suggest it, I got you. It was your point to begin with. Nah, I could see kind of just like with the newer ones, starting from Rise, I think. I don't know. There are aspects that I could sort of see it with the 2013 reboot, but I feel like it's more of an apt comparison once you get to the second one in the series. Just because I think Rise just kind of embraces more of the sort of open world aspect and the side quest, and then also like interactions with the locals or something. Whereas 2013 had aspects of that, but it didn't fully get into it. And then at the same time, I think they were still trying, like, really relying heavily on like the sort of Arkham and Uncharted format. Wouldn't mind seeing an American Tomb Raider. What do you mean by that? By American dev studio, or one that takes place in America? Yeah, Laura kicking down doors like she's a cop. She gets in there pretty hardy. From the Memphis Bass Pro Shop. You have to infiltrate that. Is that thing still running? I'm sure it is. I guess I'm more curious if it's still a Bass Pro Shop. Dog's looking weird. I think they got the mange or something. What? I was like, what can you even do in America? But then I remember they did that for a movie series called National Treasure with Nicolas Cage. So I guess he could probably do something with like the Founding Fathers and maybe like the Stonecutters or... Oh, wait, wait a second. Are the Stonecutters from The Simpsons? I think so. The Illuminati. The Freemasons is what I was thinking of. Wait a second, yeah. I'm more familiar with Simpsons lore than I am with like actual reality. Hold on, let me take care of these bats and then we'll get back on track. Yeah, Stonecutters, Illuminati, Freemasons, potato, broccoli. It's all the same thing. Okay, I think we need to get out to the other side here. Son of a bitch, these stupid bats. Because I needed to get to that little corner. I don't actually know if I can... I might be able to jump that. Boy, that seems a little risky, though. I guess that's why we have saves. Don't these things leave me alone? But yeah, anyway, I guess you could do something with, like, the Founding Fathers of America. That's pretty historical. It's not, like, super ancient, but, you know, not everything needs to be. Or regular-sized scorpions. I'm disappointed they ran out of budget for the big ones. Lost track of this conversation, or it makes it 10 times better. Well, we're all a little bit confused right now. Lara Croft has to raid the... God damn it, dismiss the stupid ad thing so I could actually read chat, for Christ's sake. Has to raid the tomb of Kobe Bryant. With the help of Charles Barkley, okay. Might be a little bit too soon for that one, bud. He's got ideas, that he does. I don't know if they're any good, but they're probably better than whatever Crystal Dynamics has cooking up, which is potentially nothing. It seemed like they were trying to go somewhere with the end of Shadow. Like, you got the idea. Son of a bitch. Honestly, every time I'm in the damn catacombs, I should just pull out the shotgun instead of switching back and forth between. But anyway, it seemed like they were trying to go somewhere, because, like, that day one patch, they had a cutscene at the very end of Shadow of the Tomb Raider where it looked like it was going to tie into the original Tomb Raider games. And, you know, I don't know what you could do with that. You could either end the series there and say, okay, we've covered Lara's origins, and now the games somewhat, not really seamlessly, but they're still tied to the originals, and then you could just consider this one big canon. Or they could have gone on to, like, remake the original games with those themes in the style of the modern Tomb Raiders. So, I don't know. It seemed like they had something going there, but then they patched that cutscene out, like, the day that Shadow of the Tomb Raider actually launched. So, obviously, your takeaway from that is like, oops, didn't actually mean to do that, folks. We're actually going in a different direction. I've heard that there were ideas thrown around for, like, a new sort of type of Tomb Raider that sort of did reboot the originals in a sense, instead of just trying to do like this prequel stuff that explained Lara's origins, but apparently that never got off the ground. There's also the whole point of, like, the whole studio being kind of tossed and bandied around with the whole, who was it, Embracer situation, and Square, and you know, all this shit going on where basically the IP holder is just, you know, not in a very stable position right now. Oh boy, where'd the torch go? I tossed it in the water without really meaning to. I wonder if it reset. I think I have to go back through the catacombs to grab it again. Is that it? Hopefully that's it. That ain't it. Where did it go? Old graphics, help me. Oh, it's still in the water. Okay, we gotta do something here. What that is, I don't know. We'll figure it out, though. I think the fact that the water's here, that had something to do with, like, the sheepskin. So let's see if we can do something with this. Let's go back. Should have gone the other way since we have so many goddamn items.
No.
No. Why don't you talk back to me?
No. No.
She can't get it. Surprisingly. Oh, no. We had to, like, get in the right position for it. What the hell? See, had I not tried it a third time, I would have been very confused. So, we got 3 liters of water to work with. I don't know how that does anything. We also have the jerry can maybe we could put in there. Okay. So we got that. I'm assuming we could light that because this looks like it's supposed to be water. That looks like it's supposed to be like fire since there's a sun and then waves on them respectively. So let's see what we can do. Make a story on the hidden lagoon of action movie stars where each movie star gets a dedicated set for their tomb. Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Jet Li. Well, like I said, it might be better than whatever they got cooking already, which potentially could be nothing. Maybe I need to put more water in. Oh no, she emptied the whole thing in there. Well. The fact that it says 3 liters kind of tells me that maybe we need to measure out the water.
No.
But I don't know for sure. Is there anything else in here? We got the lion mouths closed, so I don't think there's anything we could do with that. What does the triangle mean? What is that?
No. No. No.
I don't think I see any, like, switches or anything. Triangle means triangle, yes. Well, naturally, of course. You don't want to see something crazy. Petch? What is Petch? Petch Crazy, Bam Margera's Tomb Raider. That would be near Tomb Raider level design. Or Pee-wee's Playhouse. Well, okay. Peak, I got you. I wouldn't want to just take a giant steaming shit on the series, so, you know, I might not want something like that to happen. But in the minds of some Tomb Raider fans, that's already what Crystal Dynamics has done, so might not be a far cry away from that. Oh boy, okay, so hold on. We've got, like, this area. Was there anything else that we potentially could have gotten into that maybe I missed? Because I get the feeling like I maybe might have missed something. I think I got everything there. There's just the slightest possibility. I think this just led down into this other area. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, crap. Okay, hold on. I gotta go back. There's another room. That's why we couldn't figure out the thing. Be like Michael Bay in the Transformers Tomb Raider minus the underage actors. I didn't know you could be an underage actor. What do you mean by that? Aren't there child actors? Nope, that's not what I wanted. Whew. Oh. Well, I never heard that Michael Bay was ever accused of exploiting children. I guess I missed that one. I don't think he's any Harvey Weinstein or anything. He might be, though. And it's bats and mummies. Giant Fox. Alright. Alright, I'll take your word for it. Okay, we have a new thing. We have a bag of sand. Ah. Okay, so that must be what the pyramid is. We could just craft our own pyramid out of sand. Or the triangle, you know what I mean. Mummy. Yeah, mummies are just British mommies. It's not really much of a difference. I can hear the mummies puking up from here. Ow. Okay. Hopefully we got everything we need. We do have 3 items to work with, so that would tell me that we'd be able to interact with all 3 of the devices, but we shall see. Earth, fire, and water. That's all the elements you need to worry about. Earth, wind, and fire got it wrong. Oh, look, all the torches went out. Oh shit, hold on. Is that it? Just 2? Oh, there's something on the wall. Okay, we made it. The fact that they're giving me arrows maybe tells me that I could probably use the crossbow with this. I've just been using the revolver. I don't think it matters too much anyway. The final boss for this game, which is usually where you want to expend all your ammunition, is invulnerable. So I don't think we'll actually be using anything against him. In fact, a lot of the enemies that we're fighting now that aren't just like your basic pests, oh shit, are actually immune to all kinds of damage because they're like ancient Egyptian gods or whatever. We had that Horus fella, we've had those bulls. What else have we had? Seems like we've had quite a bit. There's some Anubis guys before. Just a large health kit, I think, but I'll go ahead and grab it. Just for funsies. I did just use a large health kit, so... Whoa, Jesus! Where'd you come from? Okay. Oh, what? I think I shot something in the distance and it like crumbled apart. I'm not sure what it was though. What did I shoot? It might have been puzzle-centric. I'm not too sure. I just saw something like crumble in the distance. I don't know what that was. save. I think we're almost through this section, surprisingly. I remember this taking a lot longer. But you know what? I did make note of it, I think when Daylor raided in, but we had seen those little statues, the lion ones that had the gems in the mouths. I remember being very confused by that, and I didn't recognize that as something I could shoot. And then I'm sure I probably ended up getting lost when it came to finding all those items. I think that might have been part of it, so... it probably took a while because I just didn't recognize what I needed to do. And even here, I was still kind of like iffy. Like there were a couple parts where I'm like, not really seeing what's going on here, but I did have enough of a lingering memory to figure out what I needed to do. I think I maybe can get across this other side here. Let's see. Oh, that is a far jump. Jesus, I almost had to do like a last minute grab on that one. Not that big of a drop. Alright, gotta switch over to shotgun. Oh, there's just a regular scorpion in here. I thought I was getting pushed by something, but... nothing all that extreme, I guess. And the camera's whipping around like crazy. I guess it doesn't like these tight corners. See, I pulled a shotgun out thinking I'm going to be running into something relatively dangerous, and there's nothing but scorpions in here. Which I guess scorpions are kind of dangerous enough as it is, but, you know, they don't do, like, big-time damage. Oh, see? And then now, like, once I get out of here, now, like, the dogs start coming in. What the hell? They threw me for a loop. Trying to pull a fast one on me. It makes you want to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters! I guess card games are pretty fun, huh? I remember watching like the first season of the anime, and I remember there was a ton of people into it. There was a ton of people that got into the game too. With like the card fanatics. I remember in school at the time, it was like the top two were always Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! But I never got into the card aspect of it, and then I know there was a ton of people that got into it once they started making like video games. I know people that had like the Game Boy game and they loved it. I know people that had some of the other ones. I forget. Actually, didn't want to go back that far. I forgot what platforms they were all released on. There might have been one on like the PlayStation, something like that. But I knew a lot of people that loved like pretty much every game that would come out. But I don't know. I myself never got to experience it. The OSTs are pretty good for the video games, I take it. Actually, I think I saw somebody on Twitch recently. It's probably somebody I follow, because I don't know why I would have seen it otherwise, but somebody was playing the Game Boy version, which I thought was weird. Oh, look, it's the monkeys! You could just kind of make out what they're doing in the original versions. It's a little bit more clear-cut in the remaster. I mean, I guess the one on the left is covering up his ears as much as he can, but it looks like it's kind of just fluffing up his dew. Alright. I think I should be able to manipulate these with the crowbar, yeah, but like what particular order do I need to do them in? Is there any sort of indicators or anything? Can't jump up there. Is there even anything up here? Oh yeah, there's a switch up there. Look at that. Some grabbable switches. I wonder if there's got to be something here that pops out that gets me up there. I guess we just got to try it. See what happens. Whoa! What is that? Ah! What was that? I thought it was a dog at first, and then it like was moving around like a man, like a little ninja. I think it was a monkey. Son of a bitch! It's a full-grown monkey. That one's speaking no evil. Oh, look, he gets up there. Oh, he's the one that pulls the switch. Which opens up that door, apparently. What about the one on the other side? I guess we don't talk about that one. It might have been a secret or something, I don't know. I'll just take whatever I can get, like, to progress. I'll be perfectly fine with that. Oh, you missed it, Mythical. There was a monkey. He scaled up that wall and he pressed the switch for me. I don't know if he's still over there, though. Hold on, I feel obligated to shoot these. Not the mummies, but monkey see, monkey do. There he is. He's still sitting up there. Apparently he has no neck. He's like Rayman. Why doesn't he have a neck? He has a neck in the original. What happened to it? Got lost in translation. There's just so many of these. I'm just wasting all my ammo on this shit. What? Oh, come on. Nope. You gotta look. There you go. Does that do anything, or... Guess not. Okay. Got a new level. I think if I remember right, Von Croy's men start coming back out around this point, so... Let's pull out the shotgun and see what happens. Actually, hold on. Hold that thought. Now let's pull out the shotgun. Have I ever had to re-authenticate my Twitch token on OBS before? I give you a notification midstream and cut you off. Oh, no. I haven't. But I was watching a streamer that's somewhat big, Tomomoto, and that exact same thing happened to him. He was streaming a game, and then suddenly his stream died. And when he came back on, he was like, man, the weirdest thing happened. Twitch just told me that like my token had expired and it said we can't reach your stream, and it just like completely cut me off. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. But yeah, no, the exact same thing happened to him, so I'm afraid it's going to happen to all of us. I figured it was a one-off case with him, but if it happened to you, it could happen to anybody. So I'm just waiting for the day where it pops up.
No.
Well, if you didn't go that far, thank you. Normal ammo. They're threatening you. They want ransom. Well, you can just go back into the website and pull it back up again, but it's really weird. Like, tokens shouldn't expire like that while you're streaming. I don't get why it would do that. Yeah, like mid-stream, why would they even cut you off? That shouldn't even be a feature. That should be like, I don't know. Maybe if like somebody said, came to Twitch, and it was like, somebody's streaming on my channel without me wanting them to. And then they could like cut it off midstream, but just because they can't like authenticate a token, why should it expire like midstream? If you're live, it should not expire. I don't get why it would do that. I have had it where my stream is cut off like in the middle, but it's been due to like other reasons. I remember relatively recently, I think back in January when we tried to do the son of a bitch. Back in January when we tried to do the first attempt at the Jedi Power Battle stream, we had like not really had that much success. And then I attempted to stream the original, and then while I was streaming the original, I just lost connection. But it was weird though. It was like OBS had lost connection. It's happened before. I don't know if it's like a hiccup with the ISP or what, but OBS like loses all connection. The bitrate goes down to 0, but I don't lose internet access. I would think there'd be like a hiccup or something in the internet where it was like, oh, it got shut down for a second, but it's back up. And then OBS just doesn't try to like redo the handshake and can't get me back on. So I ended up having to like restart the stream. And then it happened again recently. I forgot what I was streaming, but that time I had just kind of let it go, and then eventually, after a long while, like 10 minutes, it finally reconnected me. But I don't know why I did that. It's been very annoying though. I don't think it's anything on Twitch's side, but considering some of the problems that people have been having, like you and that other guy I was talking about, it might very well just be. Maybe. I haven't updated it in a while. When was the last time you updated the token? I wonder if it's a thing that happens with new tokens or if it's a thing that happens with like old ones. Is that something that you've done recently? I think it's been a minute for me. It's probably been a couple years. There's some seedy bastard trying to get in here. Oh, kick it, Laura. Last time you had to do it was never. Okay, so it's been a while then. I would take it. Yeah, I did it. I remember having to do it relatively recently, I think. I don't even, what is even down there? So I think I've done it within the past like 4 years at the very least, but I couldn't tell you exactly when that was. But yeah, you're right. I should probably take a look at that. I think that's just a trap. I think that's literally meant to just kill you. Which is cool. You know, I always like those. Oh look, we're out of the little stupid city. Okay, we're getting back into the pyramid sections. Oh, this is the big one too. Oh shit. Hold up. Oh, damn it. I thought that was an item. You bet your ass it does, Daler. I know you're a fan of that. Hold on. Let me get out there. Yeah, boy, look at that. It does in the original, too. I was going to say, I don't think it does in the original either, but it does. Damn well better. It looks pretty slick. I like the look of it. I've liked the look of everything in the remaster for Tomb Raider 4 so far. There were a couple of things. I was having a little bit of an argument with somebody on one of the past streams because I said the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 collection looked okay for the most part, but there were some shitty looking textures. And unfortunately, it led to a little bit of back and forth. But I think everything in Tomb Raider 4 has looked pretty slick so far. There's nothing I can point out where I'm like, oh, that didn't look so great. It was back and forth, and then the opposing person was just like, well, they had to use AI to make it look shitty, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to get it out in time. I'm like, I'm not criticizing that. I think it's fine that they used AI. I don't have a problem with it. I have the right to say it looked like shit. That's my only point. I wasn't dogging the developers. I didn't say the developers are the incarnate of Hitler themselves. I did not say that the game was bad, and I did not have like an understand, like it wasn't lost on the point that they needed to do that for time constraints. I was just saying it looked shitty. That's literally it. How dare I have an opinion? I know. Look, not everything I do looks all that great either. We have our moments. So far, everything, pretty much everything I could think of in Tomb Raider 4 has looked pretty damn good, though. Unless it, looked bad in the original, then that kind of translated over into the remake where it looked kind of bad, too. But for the most part, I can't really think of anything where I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, this definitely looked better than the original. But, yeah, I understand... remastering 3 games for a collection is a pretty daunting task. I know that the AI helped them, with the upscaling and reformatting the textures or whatever they had to do with it. It definitely helped than doing it by hand. My only thing was if they could have worked on it, because they worked on it for months after the fact, but if they were able to touch up the textures, which apparently they were able to, I was told. So it's not even a big deal. I just hadn't witnessed it myself. But if they were able to touch up the textures a little bit by hand, in addition to whatever they did using the AI tool to make the texture, then I would have been happier with that than just having these weird looking AI textures that did not look that great. Oh, son of a bitch. I knew something like that would happen. Ah! This part, and I was talking about it before, it gets a little bit confusing only due to the fact that it's kind of hard to tell what you can climb on and what you can't. You kind of have to have an eye, which you get after playing these games for a while, for what is a platform that you could stand on and what is a platform that you're going to slip off of. And sometimes it does take a little bit of trial and error just to kind of see what that is. I almost feel like... I was going to say, I think it's a little bit easier to see in the original. You see the parts that have sand on them? I'm pretty sure you can stand on those. And then any parts that don't have sand on them are sections that are too steep, and you'll end up slipping off the slope. But yeah, you do kind of have to have an eye for what you're able to stand on and what's going to be impossible. But this section definitely is easier, to me anyway, to see in the original. It's harder to see what sections have sand on them in the remaster. And then this was the part I was talking about before where I think you have to go down in a couple areas to get back up. Here, we might just have to go down all the way to the bottom there, and then it leads us to a path that brings us a little bit closer back up. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, more grit under your feet. It does make sense, and this is something going all the way back to the first Tomb Raider. If you remember back in, like, the Atlantean section, there was a segment where you have to platform jump across a number of different areas. Specifically, I remember the parts, like, after you fight the cowboy, or at least after the part where he shows up. I guess you don't really need to fight him. But there's that segment there where there's, like, this... like all these little stepping stones that you have to get on, and then it could be a little hard if you don't know what to look out for. The platforms that are just completely gray or slick, you'll slip right off of them. But if they have a little bit of sand on them, or they have like that dirt patch on them, that's what you need to use in order to get across. Otherwise, you're just going to slip right off. Let's see. Oh, shit. Nope, that didn't work. That's not going to work either. Damn it. There's a couple sections here as well. I might need to go all the way down here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we need to go across. That's what it was. I make these like big ass jumps from one section to the other. Don't you think I can't see you there? God damn. I always want to use the foolproof method of walking all the way to the edge, hopping back, and jumping for a long jump too. I know some people do it where, like, oh, I don't need to do that. It's great if you don't need to, if you could just eyeball it, but I'm always the type of person that's like, better safe than sorry. No, and the reason I haven't, Benny was doing a stream of that, and I didn't watch the stream, but I know he was talking about it. He went back to doing Tomb Raider 5, and he was saying that he ran into a game-breaking bug in Tomb Raider 6. I'm like, son of a bitch. I was like, well, I was hoping they'd fix it up, but apparently I haven't had time to. So I would probably wait for the next major patch. Like, whenever there's a big patch, that's probably when they're going to fix it. Because apparently that's like the thing that they're working on, is trying to get Tomb Raider 6 in working order. But yeah, it's he's 100% PC though. It shouldn't matter. It's the same release on all platforms. Oh shit. Oof. I know with the very initial first release of the 1 through 3 collection, there were... Well, tell that to the Arkham games. Well, the Arkham games aren't the Tomb Raider games. I know that with the 1 through 3 collection, there was an issue where it was weird. It was like GOG. No, it wasn't GOG. It was Epic. Epic's game store on PC had a version that was fixed up better than every other platform. It was really weird that was the case, but that's what it was. And everybody else, including the console versions, had like a regressed version, but they were more stable apparently. I don't know. There was a reason for that. There was like an accidental misrelease when it came to the Epic Game Store, and then they eventually ended up pulling it. But that's not the norm. I think especially for these developers, they're probably shooting for trying to get all platforms to be like on the same release. I think I need to jump all the way down there. Jeez. But yeah, every version, PC or console, should have the same version to it. So there's not going to be like, the PlayStation 5 isn't going to be more fixed up than the Steam version, for instance. Oh, son of a bitch, I better be going the right goddamn way. I know that sometimes you have to drop down to get up, but I don't know if this is one of those instances. the fact that there's a beetle here kind of tells me that I am making good progress. Angel of Darkness has some great level design. You can tell that they really tried to make a compelling story with it. The game had a Bible. For those that don't know, like a Bible in terms of like fictional media. Son of a bitch. I was going the right way too, god damn it. When it comes to like a movie or a television series or video game, if anything like that has a Bible, it means that they have like this big text document that explains character bios, what they've done in their life to get them to like the position that they're in, you know, what makes up their character build up. And they had some like really in-depth stuff with the characters going into that game and with like the whole organization and everything. So there was a lot of work put into the world building, because they were planning on doing another trilogy with Angel of Darkness. Angel of Darkness was supposed to be the first one, and there was going to be 2 games after that. And they had put so much effort into it, and they just got completely screwed out from the publisher side of things that forced them to release the game earlier than they needed to. And it ended up hurting the game, obviously, because it was released in a pretty broken state. And it was a shame, because there was a lot of work that got put into that game. And it just wasn't able to show through because they did not have the time or the resources. So at the very least, I hope that they'll at least make it playable. Man, that still gets me. I think I just need to jump over there and then I need to hop back up. Probably gonna be the best way to do that. Shit. And Dayla, whenever you start these games, do make sure to go over the controls. The quick save functionality is very, very handy. I would say don't rely on it too much, otherwise you might end up in a similar situation to me where I ended up saving over a quick save while I was dying and I had to like redo hours worth of content. So you don't want to just like strictly use quick save. It's a good idea to make a hard save at the beginning of every level, but it is very handy. I think I need to drop down here. I drop down here and then I go across maybe. It's hard to tell where we're even going, to be honest. I don't know where this is leading me off to. Where do we start? Okay, we started in the middle there. Is the like ultimate goal to get higher or get to the other side is the problem. I know that there was one pyramid where we had to get to a doorway, but this one I think we're just trying to get over here, maybe. Should play these again. The only overlay you have in the bank is TR2. Yeah, if you're looking for a lighter fare, I mean, Chronicles would be a fun stream. You go to that Tomb Raider fan site, they got a bunch of wallpapers. I know back when I did the original versions and I used borders because of the 4:3 aspect ratio from the PlayStation, I did grab a bunch of wallpapers from that fan site. I think it's called like Raiding the Globe or something. Grabbed a ton of wallpapers from the fan site and just pretty much popped those on the back end. That pretty much did it for me. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know about this. Well, these platforms are too steep. And there's nothing I could get to over here. I'm gonna like look up. Hold on. I'm gonna look up and see if there's something. Oh, the camera doesn't go any higher than that. I do think we need to get all the way over there. I think that is the goal. Yeah, we were just talking about Legend a second ago when I started the stream. I was talking to somebody in here. He's definitely not a that guy was definitely not a fan of anything that Crystal Dynamics did. I remember liking Legend 2, and it might even be a thing like in when I did. Thank you, Christian. I appreciate the lurk. It might even be a similar thing like when I played Tomb Raider 2013, because I remember thinking that game was super cool when it first came out. I was like, oh yeah, that game is great. And then when I went back and streamed it a few years ago, I'm like, oh, this game is shit. Why did I ever like this? But it's just one of those things. But yeah, I thought I remember liking Legend. I remember liking Legend quite a bit. And then when I went back and I streamed it a few years ago, I'm like, oh, this is not what I remember it being. And I did not like Legend that much. There was like a couple things here and there, but there was a lot of stuff I really didn't like about that game. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be all the way down here. Largest Magic Ninja Warrior announcer narrating all these acrobatics. Saw! I just know they say saw a lot because that's supposed to like reapply the setting. They're like, now, here we are. It almost seems like it's very easy just to jump all the way down there, but I think I need to go like across. Last time we played it was on PS2 on launch. Might have been at the time factor. Maybe. And like, I remember, like I thought I remember the 2013 reboot pretty well. And I thought I remembered Legends pretty well, but when I played it, I was like, most of the stuff wasn't ringing a bell for me. I remember the very end, once you get like, what was it? You get Mjolnir in Underworld, but you get, Excalibur in Legend. And I remember the section when you have Excalibur, but boy, I didn't remember like most of the other shit that happened in that game. But yeah, when I finally went back and played it, I'm like, it's not what I remember it being. I will say that I did play the PC version on that one too, and the PC version, for whatever reason, was like exponentially harder than the console version. Because I went back and I replayed some of the sections that I was having issues with on PS3, I think. You know what so what the PC version is exactly the same as like the PS2 and the Xbox version. And then the HD collection version on PS3 is like a slightly reworked. We're doing the Lara Croft Go stream, oh god. Yeah, that'll be like pure desperation at that point. I'll have like nothing else to stream in terms of Tomb Raider. I'm like, well, we've done it all. This is what we've come to. I think I need to get over here. Let me just like take a half step in one direction, if that's even possible. Or you know what? I'm just gonna like long jump it. Let's see. Shit. She's just like not willing to go that far. It's like I already tried that. I was trying to see if I could grip onto the side and sort of like sidle off, but I don't think you could do that here. But yeah, I wasn't too keen on Legend when I played it recently, And then Anniversary, I remember sort of liking, but there was also something I didn't like about that game. I remember originally. I forget what it was, but yeah, replaying it takes way too much away from the original game. Like it streamlines the game way too much, in my opinion, to the point where there was like some really good beats that end up getting missed. And I just remember being disappointed by that. You never liked Anniversary, you don't know why. I remember liking it okay, I just don't remember like not liking it. I don't know. And then I had the somebody had told me too. Oh, I think it was Munchie King, actually, surprisingly. I didn't even know that he played these games. But he was saying like there's some shit like VSync had to be enabled, something weird, like something you would never think of. And it like broke the game if you had it enabled or disabled, whatever the factor was, I forget. But it was like really dumb because the game pretty much broke and I had to restart the game entirely from scratch on PS3 in order to play it. I think I need to jump down here, actually, hold on. But yeah, when I played through Anniversary recently, I was kind of peeved by it. I'm like, why do they do this? Why do they do that? And then the whole game-breaking bug pissed me off too, so, multiple different factors. God damn it, I think I could get on there, but I don't know if like a regular high jump is going to be enough. Oh, son of a bitch, I did it. I think this is what we were missing. I needed to get up on here. Underworld was great. I still liked Underworld a lot, and I remember really liking it when I first played it. And I thought it was great when I streamed it recently. But the story in it is super reliant on, not even Anniversary, but it's like really, really heavily reliant on Legend. So I feel like points kind of get taken away from it just for the fact that you need to, not necessarily, I know it sounds like, oh, Legend is such shit that you need to play it in order to play Underworld, but like, I don't know. I always usually have a problem with the story if it's reliant on you needing to know what happens in like another preceding story. So it's more from that perspective than anything. Have not watched the movie, did not care for the vampire and werewolf stuff. Just as a generality. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I think I might be just long jump over here and then slide all the way down. Because this looks like it gets me where I need, like, it gets me to the other side over here, which I think is the goal. Okay, new level. Pretty sure that was it. Chick with the big ass forehead. I didn't watch it. My thoughts were if I wanted to experience that story again, I would just play the video game, which I didn't like that story anyway, so I didn't. Oh, am I just out of ammo? Shit. It's poop. Yeah, it didn't really look like it would appeal to me anyway. But that was a big factor for me. It was like, it's redoing the game, right? Like, you might say it's a worse version of the game, but at the end of the day, it's literally just the game story, isn't it? So, in my mind, why would I just want to, like, re-experience the game story if it's, like, the same thing? I don't need to see it in a movie format. And you can make that same argument for other things, like that Last of Us TV series and stuff, but I haven't watched that either. You know why? Because if I wanted to re-experience the Last of Us story, I just play the goddamn game again. I don't want to watch a movie and or television series of a story that already exists in another format. Oh, hey, this is the room where all the stuff is unlocked, but I thought you needed those keys to get it. Maybe maybe that he's alive is why it's opened here. And then if he's not alive, it just stays closed. I don't know. It's weird that this is unlocked though. I thought for sure this would have something to do with the keys. This was the room I was referring to at the beginning of the stream though, where you had to save the guy. I'm pretty sure you need to get in that lockup. Never played The Last of Us. Love the show though. Well, it's a decent story. You know, I'm not going to say that it's the best video game story of all time, although some people have claimed that. But, you know, it's a decent little, almost kind of, it has a vibe to like a Western. And a lot of Westerns, especially like Westerns in their peak in like the 50s, 60s era, you know, before the spaghetti Western era started in like the 70s, in the late 60s to 70s. But it was always about like a journey. It was always about getting from point A to point B, and that point B was always the goal. And, you know, it was whatever the characters experienced on the way through that journey. And it very much has a feel of like a kind of like a Western in that regard. And I did enjoy it. I liked the characters. I thought The Last of Us 1 was a pretty nice game with a decent little story. But, you know, it's one of those things where I get it was a good story. Yeah, you could make like a Hollywood adaptation of it, but, you know, again, for me, if I wanted to experience the story, I would just play the game again. It's like the Westerns where we don't ask where all the black guys were. They say that. You know, there were black guys, and there's a very big story segment that happens with 2 black guys in The Last of Us. Oh, this is the other one. Okay, so here we get the armory key. Okay, so wait, there were 2 different rooms. That's what it was. And this one has all the weapons in it. Wow, look at that. I needed some more shotgun ammunition. So if you just didn't have everything, this is like your last chance to get it. I think we're pretty close to the end of the game. We have like a pyramid to get through, and then I think it's like the final couple dungeons, and that's basically it. So we're nearly done. So we might end up getting through this a little bit quicker than I thought. If we do, then I'm maybe going to see about getting into Final Fantasy VIII. The only thing about Final Fantasy VIII is I have had no time to prep with that game, unfortunately. So if we do get into it tonight, we're going to have a lot of menu navigation. It's maybe going to suck for a minute, but yeah, we'll get through it. It won't be too bad. Oh shit, he stung me again. I swear the first few times I fought these guys, I had no issues with getting poisoned by them. And now it's like every time I get poisoned. Can't say that, Taylor. Oh boy. Last of Us 2. I don't know how they're adapting the show though. Like I don't know if they will end up adapting Last of Us 2 or if they even went through the entirety of the first Last of Us. I mean, it's a video game. Granted, it's not like the longest game ever. It's not like an RPG or anything, so I don't know if they went through the entirety of the game in the first season, but if they're already getting to the second game and the second season, boy, that series ain't gonna last a while. Boy, do we already have to jump I think we do. Okay, shit. We have to jump across already. It's another one of them super long jumps, so we have to do a last minute grab. I knew it. Oh shit. Let me whip that out just in case. I think maybe what I need to do there is go all the way to the edge so that she actually has something to grip onto, but I don't know for certain. I don't think I need to get up top here. That seems a little bit too far-fetched. The other thing, too, is I might not even need to grab onto that. See how it's, like, kind of slightly lower? Okay, no, I didn't need to grab onto it. Shit. Oh, boy. I feel like they're going to do what Walking Dead did, flip the character stories around to prolong things. Yeah, apparently, I mean, it's done very well for itself. The problem is because they're following the video game storyline, you run into that problem where there's only so much source material that you can take from. But yeah, they might end up doing a Walking Dead or something. I don't know. You see, I haven't watched it, so I don't know if they've introduced new characters or what their intentions are. I'm starting to look at different routes because none of this is really making any sense. Can't jump up there. If I could grab onto that ledge, I could shimmy across and drop onto that last little platform there, but I don't get the feeling like that's it. You know what I could do? I could try, anyway, is do a diving jump. Sometimes I get to see a little more length. There's something else. I forget what it is. I'm trying to think. There's something else you could do to get that long jump, but I don't know what it is. Oh, look at that. The diving roll did it, though. See, sometimes you gotta do weird shit. There's another jump you can do that gets you, like, the exact same length, but you don't need to go through the motions of, doing the dive. I just don't remember how to do it. It's been a minute since I've tried to do all the controls, all the different little stuff in here. I had to mute myself for a second as a sneeze. Interesting how, oh, son of a bitch. Interesting how there's been some studios finding success adapting video game stories, though. Because it used to be that, you know, video game adaptations were so absolutely, like, debilitatingly toxic that you couldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. And it's like these days, you know, there's that Fallout series everybody's been going crazy over. There's The Last of Us. I'm sure there's other things too. I can't really remember specifically what's had success in recent years since I don't pay too much attention to it, but it seems like there's been a lot more stuff. Twisted Metal was 7 out of 10. I forgot that was even a thing. All right, Daler. I got you. You have a good night, though. Appreciate you stopping in. Always good chatting with you, and thank you for the raid as well. But take care. Hopefully we'll catch you on the next one, or I'll catch you on one of your streams. But yeah, it definitely does seem like there's been a number of video game, like, related stories, television series, movies, whatever, that have been getting a fair amount of success. And I don't know. That might be because there's more people that are attuned to a number of different things. It could be that there's more people nowadays that are more in tune with video games as a whole because it's become such like a uplifted form of media compared to what it was back in like the 80s and 90s. 80s and 90s basically is just an extension of children's toys. So, you know, you didn't have a whole lot of people taking anything seriously. That, you know, back then you really, when you had adaptations, it's not like you could adapt too much. Even shit like Sonic though, like I'm just, you know, like going through thinking of a number of different things. Definitely don't consider those like high form media, but it's like it's had so much success. And yeah, it could be that there's just more people that are willing to accept like video game related stuff these days compared to back then. But I think there's also probably more, you know, maybe not competent, but people that would be willing to do more like accurate adaptations, I feel like, with the video game source material. Because back in the day, I mean, it could go any number of ways. It was hard to tell what exactly you were going to get when it came to a video game adaptation of something. It's gonna be them one of them weird mazes. Okay, so we don't need to walk on these platforms. We just need to pass over them at the very least. I remember kind of going this way. We'll see what this gets me. Oh, good. Scarabs. You know, I probably should have saved before sticking my hand in there. Oh, good. More scarabs. I figured if there were going to be more scarabs, it probably wouldn't hurt just to try another one and see what happens. Stargate staffs. Okay, well, I'm assuming we needed that. Is there anything else we need in here? I'm getting shot at by this shit. Only problem is I don't know if that's the only thing that we need to worry about here, or if there's going to be something else. Obviously the gate opened up, so it was important. But it might not be the only thing that's important. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna skip putting my hand into shit. I'm gonna maybe say that's good enough. Maybe we don't need to look for anything else. I mean, the gate did open, so one would assume. How many of those things do we have? We have a number of those little star emblem deals, but I don't know how many we need total. I think eventually it gets us into whatever we're looking for, but maybe I could cam over because I think I know where the entrance to like the big area is going to be. I do think it's like out here somewhere. It's like out here, and then it's up there. So maybe if I can see, like, if there's any of the facets or something that we can identify. Oh, it's just a regular ass key. Well, who knew that the ancient Egyptians had tumbler locks? Well, let me look through my items and see if we can make any sense out of it. So, okay. There's an western... Oh, no, we have 4. Okay, so it's all 4 directions of the compass rose. That's probably it then. I would doubt that they would go so far as to do like northeast and among others. So that... we might have everything. Cool. I'll say that's good enough. So I think all we need to do is now get up to that one point up there. And hopefully one of the keys that we have will open that. I think this is going to be a thing. Yeah, there we go. Seemed a little bit too weird to jump up from that point. Oof. Went right over me. Two for one. Oh, the guard's keys. Okay. I think this is it. I think this is kind of like the final area. There might be a bit of back and forth going through here, but we could be pretty damn close. Whoa, jeez. Oh, shit. I was just so surprised I got him with 2 shots. Oh! Alright, let's go this way first. Yep. Take a little longer to pull out your sword, why don't you? Got him. Nothing over that way. Oops. Whoa. Okay, those are in fact just like gigantic blocks. I thought for sure it killed me there, but then it didn't. Yeah, like it happened so fast, she doesn't even realize she's dead. Looks like a beefed up version of them Holy Scripture statues. Which we still have, I think. I don't really know what you need to do with those. I thought we had to do something with that back in the catacombs area. Okay. We got a health kit and a torch and several unlit torches. So, one would assume that we just light all these and we're good to go. Ah, it's a switch. Should have known. Okay, that opens up a door a little bit later on. But what about this? Find a way in. Does that just not have any sort of significance? I'd almost think that this would be like a mirrored passageway and there'd be an opening on the other side too, but I guess I don't see anything. Alright. Made it through. Oh, wait a second. That gate is still locked. Oh, it opened up the door up here. Okay. Hey, I see some little facets that are star-shaped. Alright, Laura, I hope you know which direction's which. Eastern shaft key. Is that actually to the east? Oh yeah, it is. Well, I'll be. Oh, wait, north and south are on the same side. That doesn't make any sense. What the hell's going on? Okay, we open up the gate. I don't think we can just drop down here, because if we drop, well, I mean, one of them would be too far, but there's also that point there. I think I maybe just need to get to that lower level, and then we'd probably be good. I get a twofer? 2 for 1? Nice. One of them actually dropped something, too. Enemies in this game seem to rarely drop anything. But hold up. Okay, so we were taking a look down the shaft, and it did look like maybe there was another entrance. That was possibly this one down here, but it didn't look like it was open. So you can go that way. But yeah, it looks like the gate's locked on this side. Weird. Yeah, so I think what you need to do is just go back down here. Despite the fact that you open the gate that way, it's very strange. Why did that explode? Oh, look, the other side's open now. Let's see what we got. Oh, I see. Okay, that's what opens up that gate. So I guess now we would need to get over there. Although, when I was looking at it, it almost feels like I should be able to drop here, and then we would just slide down and continually keep going down. Well, hold on. Yeah, I guess by the time you get to that point, it's maybe too steep of a drop. Gotta time that just right. Got another raid coming in from a rambling voice. Welcome in. Who's shooting me? Oh, you over there. Welcome in, guys. How we doing? Ramblin' Voice, thank you. I don't think I've seen you in here before, so I'm assuming you're just raiding. Looks like you were playing, howdy ho, neighbor. It looks like you were playing some Last Revelation, so I can see the connection. How's the game going for you, or did you beat it? Also, I did not mean to reload there. Welcome in. Hopefully you had a good stream there. Actually, let me get you, let me do a manual here. Pretty good. Think you're about where I am from the looks of things. If you're about where I am, you're in the last little moments of the game, so you do not have too far to go before you end up getting through the entirety of it. Let's see. Get your full name in here. There we go. There we are. So what chat was saying, unfortunately, you have to be up kind of early. I got you. Happens to the best of us. It actually happened with me in Final Fantasy VIII relatively recently. I got to the very final boss, and then I'm like, I know this is the last one, and I know we just have to push through a little gauntlet here, but I'm gonna have to end the stream, so. But there's still, if you're about where I am, there's still a good grip of gameplay left. It's not like you just need to do one thing and then that's it. You basically have another set of levels to get through. So it'll still be, you know, a bit of an experience. But I hope you're finding the game fun. Back in the day, it used to be one of my favorites. Yeah, and it's not just like a boss that you shoot. It's not really like a Tomb Raider 3 situation. So there's definitely gonna be some more puzzle aspects to it. So if you haven't played it before or something like that, it might take a minute to kind of get used to things. Whatever's gonna be going on. Loving it so far? Really? This one is a longer form game. Some people like that, some people don't as much, but it can be a bit challenging. Definitely not recommended for newbies to the series that haven't played the classics, but it's I think it's still a fun game. There are definitely things I don't like about it, for sure. So I don't know if it'd be one of my. It used to be my favorite back in the day, but I don't think I'd consider it, you know, one that I'd want to keep going back to continually. But I still like aspects of it pretty well. But anyway, I assume that you're gonna need to get going, so I do appreciate the raid, and if you gotta take off, you have a good night since you said you need to get up early. Let's see. I think I need to drop down there, but boy, that seems like a bit of a gap. Unless that's water down there. It might be. There's like some sort of reflecting thing going on. That is not water. Okay. TR1 gave you dinosaurs or you didn't expect them. Yeah, TR2 too. This is like a little Easter egg. Always hold a special place in your heart. Usually people that are just looking to get into the Tomb Raider games, I think Tomb Raider 1 is definitely a good place to start, so I usually recommend it. Oh, you can crawl down here. Okay, see, I didn't pick up on that. Not crawl, but you could use it kind of like a ladder. Okay, that makes more sense. Well, okay. I guess we probably could have crawled around the side there, but I thought maybe she could drop down and grab onto the ledge. I got you, no worries. I do appreciate the raid, though. Thank you for the follow as well. If you're playing some Tomb Raider games, I wouldn't mind checking you out, so. As soon as I wrap up here, I will do the same and maybe catch you in one of your streams. But you take care. Have a good night. Thank you much again. Everybody that's sticking around from the raid, I do appreciate you guys as well. Oh yeah, big Metal Gear fan here, so. Used to do Metal Gear games like every Monday for a while. But definitely love the classic stuff, so a lot of stuff on PlayStation I'll still go back to. Oh look, they give you another water skin. Okay, this is where the measurement stuff came up into play. Because I think we needed to get the scales completely even. And there's something you can do here to kind of like measure out. I think it's like you have to weigh out the water skins like between each other until you get like a certain measurement, but I don't remember what the measurement specifically needs to be. Probably something weird like 5. Hello, skeleton. Okay, let's... You know what I probably should have done? I probably should have made a manual save. I don't know why the game is like doing the freak out music too. Small water skin and a large water skin. Okay. Well, looks like you combine it too. What the hell does that mean? 5 liters combine with the small water skin, you get 3 liters.
No.
Just dump it out, Laura. Just use it somewhere.
No.
Okay. There you go. Oh boy. Again, I don't really even know what I'm doing here. Maybe we should just try the 2 liters and see what happens.
No.
Yes. There you go. See? She always tells me no, and then, you know, you try it again, and then she does it fine the second time around. There's a feather. I mean, that almost looks even. That would be, like, even enough for me. Oh, hey, the gate opened up. Maybe that was it. That was all we needed to do, was get 2 liters. Okay. That was a lot more daunting than I thought it was going to be. I figured that would be the best course of action, is just to drop if we could. Did take a bit of damage, but that's alright. Okay, so now we have another one. Let's see. Same setup, though. Was there another water skin? Or are we just still dealing with the 2? I guess we're still dealing with the 2. This one, I get the feeling like this is going to be a little more challenging. Three liters. It's 5 liters. Now we have 1. Yes.
No.
Yes. There you go. I wonder if it's gonna be. Oh shit. Apparently, I didn't like that. This thing might not be able to die, actually. It's bleeding. There we go. You know what they say. Defeat Amit. If it bleeds, it dies. Oh, it looks like the scale position reset. So that tells me that we have to do this in one go. Shit.
No.
One's got 3 liters, one's got 2 liters. Let me just make a save here. Let's just try the 2 liters and see how that works out. Then we can kind of get an idea of where it needs to be at, maybe. See, that one's still slightly off kilter. And then it just sends a new beast at us. So, if we do full 3 liters... It's still a little bit off. It needs to be slightly higher. So what, like 4 maybe? Pour it out. My only fear is that there is going to be like another item, like a third water skin. I don't remember if that ends up being the case or not. But like a third one that you can use to like balance them out a little bit further. 'Cause it seems weird to toss the same puzzle at you twice, it's just you need a different value. But that could just be what they're going for. Oh, but you know what? Okay, hold on. I bet you it is 4. Because then we can combine with this. And then I can use this. And then combine with this, and then we get 4. So hopefully that's it. Let's see. Oh, they look balanced to me. Alright. Wasn't as bad as I thought it might be. So it took a bit of a hit there, but I think better than trying to time the slide on that. Oh, son of a bitch. We have to do the third one? Oh, no. Same shit, too. Yeah, I'm not seeing another water skim, so I think we just have to find a new value, but we've already done like the weird ones. Like, cause this holds up to 5, yeah? Okay. So we've done 2, and we've done, I guess 1 could be 1, but then you did 1 previously, so I don't see why it would make that much of a difference. Let's see, though. Let me just, I'm just trying it out just to see how far it okay, so like all the way down. It probably is 1. Because it's like the only other oddity in terms of like the water skims. Let me just try 2 and see. It's still too heavy, yeah, so it has to be 1. So let's pour that out. The problem is I forget how I got the 1 in the first place. I'll figure it out. There we go, okay. That's what it was. $1 liter. There we go. And by God, unless they give me another water skin, that's gotta be it. Oh yeah, there's a big blue beam. Shit. Whoa, hey! We ended up on the other side of that thing, wow. Never seen that happen before. Hold on, I gotta go back up to my, quick save. She had her guns out, I did not mean for that to happen. I was just worried that there was gonna be, like, bats that came out. Okay, so for this, do we go up or do we go down? Because it looked like down was just a pretty mighty fall. Okay, there's still a gate on the other side. As we saw, we can grip onto this. Shit. Hey, there's Horus all the way down to the bottom. I think that's where you go... Now that we're dead and everything. I think that's where you go to put the armor on him, though. I'm pretty sure this is kind of what it's all leading up to. I was trying to drop grab just to kind of get through that little section a little bit quicker, but like shit, there was a point where I wasn't even going that far. She just didn't want to grab onto it anymore, so I don't know if you just like lose the ability to halfway down or what the issue is. I get the feeling like here you can like backflip into this area too. I don't know if you need to. Let me see. Yeah, see? But does this get us anywhere? I don't think we could break these. Oh shit. Now, wait a second, hold on. I think I need to get back over there, so don't tell me I can't. I did say before it, but it's not good. Yeah, she's like unwilling to hop over. Oh, okay. Shit. She hopped over, but a little bit too far. Okay, let me get down to this point, and then I'm just gonna like manually go down. And we'll see if we can drop down to that lower section. I remember like half of it was trying to get down here, and then the other half was trying to get back up. So it was like a bit of a mix of things going on. All the way down. Oh, good. I wasn't sure if she'd be able to do that. So finally, here we are. The place Horace is at. I think there's water. Yeah, see, there's like water around this little island area. I'm wondering if there's a point where I could just kind of like jump into it. Kind of half tempted just to try it. Okay. Almost. She almost made it. Maybe if I try a little bit closer. Oh, see. Shit. Damn. Oh, since we're kind of in this area too, I feel like maybe a hard save would probably be a good idea. Yeah, she like almost could make it, but I think it's specifically laid out where you can't actually do that. This part of the platforming and everything, trying to get down here. I don't think this music is supposed to be playing. Shit. See, I knew there was gonna, if she wasn't able to make it, we'd be able to do like a grab on the other side, but she didn't make that either. I tried to like turn around. Well, okay, I went pretty far down. So the next best thing would be, I don't know, to take a step up. I was pretty much down as far as you can get without her doing that, basically. There you go, prop yourself back up, get on the middle there. I just don't want her bouncing off the top. Which it looks like she's going to do if I do a backflip here, but let's see. Shit. Yeah, it's in fact what happened. I thought I tried the other way. Hold on. You know, if she was just a little bit further to the right, she, maybe not. She maybe might have made it. Maybe if she was like a lot further to the right, like to the corner over here. Hard to judge that though. I don't know, it's weird. From this point, it doesn't look like there's a lot of options here. Unless you can drop all the way down. Like It should be trickier coming back up is the thing. Like, eventually, once you get all the way down, you need to come back up. See, she might drop in the water there. Oh, shit. Hey, she made it. Wow. It was so close that I almost feel like that maybe shouldn't have happened. But, I don't know. I'll take it. The question is... I think I should be able to, but where do I get out? Here we go. Horace, I got your shit. Oh, you put it on the pedestals. Oh, you need the Holy Scriptures. Finally, they come into play. Wow. Here I thought we were just maybe potentially missed what we had to use them for. Don't worry, Horace, old buddy. I'll get you out of that light prison. Oh, Laura, please, don't start with a crouch. There we go. Looking sharp. I think I remember first seeing these cutscenes when you use a Game Shark on an old PlayStation. I think with some of the later ones, you could like look at the game files in a sense, and you could look at some of like the cutscenes and stuff. It was a little bit broken. Sometimes it didn't work all that well, but I remember specifically seeing like all the cutscenes for Tomb Raider 4 via that. And you could watch like all of them. So I remember being blown away by this one before I even got to that point. Oh no, Set. He's back. We didn't want that to happen. Okay, so Set's out. I think basically we just need to find a way to get back out up top. Maybe. I was also going to see if there's anything down in the water that we can get, but I'm honestly not too sure. Let me take a quick look, just make sure we can't interact with anything, like I don't need to take out those scriptures or whatever. Doesn't look like I can interact with it. And let me look at like actual Set here. Get that field of view looking alright. Tight a little bit. 50% is usually good. Big old dog man. Although Set I think is like, I don't know, was he a dog? I think he was like a something weird, like one of them weird birds or an anteater. What does he look like in the original? See, in the original he looks more like the anteater thing. Although that might have been for like lack of polygon or something. I guess there were the CG cutscenes that made him look a little bit more dog-like, so it's probably something to it. I don't know. Pretty neat, though. I'd say it's a step up. And then just with the original for comparison. Again, a lot of times when you're playing the original version of this game, you don't have an opportunity to like sit back and take a look at your enemies and see what the models look like or anything. You just know that they're attacking you and they're slightly horrifying. Okay, so we need to figure out how to get out of here. I think maybe we need to start there. Looks like there's something on the other side too. Don't like that noise. Really don't like that noise. What's going on? It's powering up. Ugh. There are these gates here. Maybe there's something under the water. There's gates and I can see switches behind the gates, but I need to figure out how to open the gates first. There might be like a switch or something under here that gets one of them open. Or both of them. But I feel like I would need to hit one up and then I would get the other side open and we could kind of move on from there. Do you remember? Oh, hey, there it is. Okay. I was gonna say, I thought I remember doing something in the water, but I also could have just been like hanging out in the water because I don't think I can get you from under the water. So it might have just been that. Is there something glowing over here, or was it my glow stick? Oh, okay, that was just the glow stick. Is it just the Ankh that we need? Okay. I think maybe picking up the Ankh somehow, don't know how, but I think maybe picking up the Ankh opened up the door over here. Can they give you ammo? That's weird. I really don't think you could do anything to set. Like, it would be pretty pointless to try. He is continually shooting shit at you, though, so... Just in the sense that he's a little bit annoying. I guess if you could maybe stagger him or something, might be worth giving that a shot. Okay. Hey, we saw that before. I guess the gate is open now, so that means that you need to go up. That's like your indicator. Like, okay, time to move on. So basically, we need to go all the way back up from where we were before we drop down in here. Question is, where do I need to go to, like, begin the climb? Oh. Look at that. Let's do shit. Okay, I need to go all the way around again. God damn it. All the way? Yep, all the way. It wasn't that bad, but still kind of sucks because I haven't needed to come up this way, but I've done it twice already just because it kind of keeps me moving. And it keeps me away from his little light attack things, so just the fact that I've had to do it multiple times kind of sucks, but yeah, it's whatever. Although this is weird. Oh, I think it's just so you can get up top. I'm like, it looks like a thing you're supposed to move. Hey, she was up on that platform. It's just a health kit, I'm gonna ignore it. Oh lord. Cool. These little bolts can reflect off of me. Okay, so now that we're up here, I think I need to get down there. Oh shit! You ruined it! You bastard. Stupid little light bolts. Ugh. Okay. First little part cleared. But, let's see what we got going on in here. Not a whole lot. I thought there were two different paths, but I guess it's just the one and it weaves around. Okay, we're almost there. Wow, that was a lot quicker than I thought. I remember this part like being super arduous. Too far. I don't use the side jump all that often. I don't quite have the feel for it. Shit. Oh. Stop getting stuck. There we go. See, all I needed to do was that. Oh boy. You're gonna have to eat a few hits, so this may suck. Oh, I wonder if when you're in the light beam, if that protects you. Yeah, we're not getting any damage. Okay, but now we are. If that was so powerful, you'd think you'd just be able to fly up here and like grab me or some shit, but no. Can't do shit. Oh, alright. Cool. It's not over yet. We still got a little bit to go.
It's not over yet!
But that's where the aunt goes. Seal set in there. Alright. Oh shit. Okay. I guess I wasn't accounting for that. At least I made that save. There we go. Oh shit. Yeah, well, can only do so much. I had it timed relatively well for the first two. See, there you go. Once again, just a little bit short. Run, Laura.
Quickly, girl, before it collapses around you.
Did I get it? Yeah, I got it. This is it.
You back, Werner? No more set?
No time. Your hands, Lara. Give me your hands. Take my hand. I can pull you to safety.
Good to see you again, Werner.
I couldn't leave you.
And then he leaves her. Although he would have been dead if, you know, he didn't move, so. Hell of a line to go out on, though. And that's it. We did it. We got all the way through Tomb Raider 4, The Last Revelation. It was a hell of a run. It took a while to get through. But, yeah, it's a long game, so it took us a few streams, and we finally managed to beat it. The next game should be much quicker. It's a little bit more akin to a standard Tomb Raider in terms of length. So probably won't be spending too much time on it. However, I think the times is tied to Tomb Raider 4, so we may end up doing that before we do 5 and move on into Chronicles. I think the times is the last expansion too. I've never played it. I've heard a lot of people call it like really good and like the best expansion for the Tomb Raider games, but you know, I've not played it myself, so I couldn't tell you if it is or if it isn't. But I've heard good things, so I guess that'll be exciting to kind of get into that. But yeah, Tomb Raider 4. Heck of a game. We got through it. As we've been playing through it, I've talked about my issues with this one, which there are many. Definitely, I don't know. It seems kind of weird. It was weird to me that the game started off with a forced tutorial because there wasn't like that many new game modes, you know, game mechanics that were introduced in this one. But they force you to play the tutorial just so you get like the basics down. And you think you would do that for a game that would be like a good introduction for new players into the series. And through after beating the first 3, you would think like the start of a new trilogy or something like that, if that was in fact their idea. That would be kind of where their minds would be at, and they're like, okay, we can introduce some new players to a new type of game or something, so they'll kind of force you to do this little tutorial. It'll be like a brand new experience. But man, they introduce a lot of other stuff that aren't like into the basic core mechanics of the game, such as the open level design, which I had a problem with. It was probably at its worst with Alexandria. And I think that was a bad, like, first attempt. I'm not saying Alexandria should have been, like, later in the game, but maybe the extent that they had kind of done the open world and puzzle aspects in particular with Alexandria would have been made for better in, like, a mechanical sense later on in the game. There is also the portions in Cairo where you have kind of like an open world and you have to jump back and forth between a number of levels, but it was a little bit more tame. So it's weird that they start you off with like such a steep, almost kind of learning curve at the beginning, and then, you know, you feel like you're sort of eased into it a little bit more the later you get into the game. So yeah, definitely had a problem with that type of approach to it. Kind of feel like, I don't know, it would have been nice if it was done a little bit better or less extreme in the Alexandria sense, to where you didn't have to jump back and forth between a number of different levels to get everything unlocked and do a bunch of different puzzles between different rooms and then have to like know where you're navigating yourself to. If they did do it that way, then it would have been more helpful to have, I don't know, something like a map maybe, but you know, that would be implementing a whole brand new mechanic into it. There is a good emphasis on like the puzzles in this game. I do appreciate some good puzzles with my action-y Tomb Raider games, but there are sections where it feels like it leans into it a little bit too heavy. I prefer it when it's a more balanced experience, or if it's imbalanced, I actually do prefer it when it's a little bit more action-oriented and then like the puzzles are a little fewer and far between. The whole point to me, like liking Tomb Raider 2, maybe it might be my favorite, might lead you to come to that conclusion yourself, because Tomb Raider 2 is very much action oriented, and while there are puzzles, they're more sparse than I feel like with some of the other games. So I don't know. The level design in this game can be nightmarish, again going back to kind of the open world ones, but there are some cool things too. I feel like when they're more linear, some of the levels are a little tighter constrained. There's some cool stuff, whether it's visually or it just kind of feels cool navigating through it. I did kind of enjoy going around the pyramids. Some of the aspects of some of, you know, even Alexandria or some of those underground areas that were a little bit more temple-like or tomb-like. But it was like sections here and there and wasn't like stuff where it was the broad scope of multiple levels on top of each other. And then the other problem with having some of the more open level design is it can get confusing if you're like in an area and it's like, I should be able to do something here, but I can't figure out what it is. And if you don't understand or get that you need to go back to some other area to get something that's applicable here, like if you don't pick up on that relatively quickly, you could just be wasting a lot of time in this game. And I feel like I did. I feel like when I originally played this, there was a lot of time wasted on a bunch of shit where, you know, there was a bunch of hypotheticals, like, or trying to figure out like what it was specifically that I needed to do to progress. And it got confusing. So I don't like the aspects of that game. It is also a super, super long game, which sometimes that could be cool for some things. You know, I don't mind a longer form classic Tomb Raider, but just the fact that it also had, you know, the very confusing level design on top of it just sort of made it feel a little bit draining to get through. But outside of that, you know, I do love the atmosphere. I did like this one had a bit of a stronger story, especially compared to the one just prior to this. Tomb Raider 3 it barely has a story to begin with, and what little story it does barely makes any sense. You can kind of piece it together, but Tomb Raider 3 was not a high point in terms of like the plot lines for the Tomb Raider series. So them attempting to kind of broaden out and incorporate a more heavier story aspect into the game, I think was good. And I think the story that they did have was more compelling, if you want to use that word, compared to some of the previous games, maybe outside of Tomb Raider 1. Tomb Raider 1 is probably one of the more cohesive and interesting stories. It might not have the same type of character motivations that 4 does, but you know, it's definitely got something there. And 2 was a little bit more self-serving for Lara, and 3 just didn't make any goddamn sense. When we get to 5, we'll see that you know, it's an anthology, so there's a loose thread of a story tying everything together, and it namely just being Lara. But other than that, you know, it's not the greatest story in the series. And then 6, we talked about it briefly when we were talking about Angel of Darkness a minute ago. They really tried to do something with 6. They were really trying to make that game special, and they almost succeeded. Had they had enough time and the game got released in a completed state, and then they were able to make, you know, the 2 other games that they wanted to after the fact, it would have been great. But just wasn't what happened, unfortunately. So we'll kind of see, you know, how the plot line gets more sophisticated as we get into Angel of Darkness whenever we do get into that game. But yeah, it's probably gonna be a minute just because I'm still waiting for that patch to maybe see if they hopefully fix up the game. And then we still gotta get through the times in Tomb Raider 5, but Tomb Raider 4, big game. This is gonna be the longest one in all of the Tomb Raider games that we've done. And it's cool that we were able to play it again. You know, I streamed the entirety of the main series about 3 years ago, and it was fun back then playing all the classic games over again. I had a lot of fun with it. Still have fun. I was excited for the new collection to come out, and you know, I'm still excited to get into some of the stuff, especially the new stuff. I think it's going to be nice to see the times. And then I don't think there's an expansion that comes with Tomb Raider 5, but if there is, it'd be cool. And then if they add anything new or incorporate some new stuff once 6 finally gets all patched up, I think it'll be exciting to kind of go and revisit sort of a different take on it. We did play the original-ish version that was fixed up by the fan community with the rescued mod pack for Tomb Raider 6 when I streamed that. But, you know, it wasn't really the, the actual version of the game that got released, so this one might be a little bit closer to that, unless they incorporate some new stuff too. Then I don't know, it might just be a different take altogether, but it'll be real nice to see. But yeah, Tomb Raider 4, fun game for the most part. It's just a shame about some of the level design and some of the obscurity of some of the puzzles and stuff, but otherwise I did enjoy playing through it. It's nice revisiting it, even if we did kind of play it somewhat recently, but I feel like it's been long enough for me to, I mean, I didn't even remember like most of the puzzles and everything. Every once in a while there'd be something like, okay, well, I remember you had to do something with this or that or whatever. So it did help me out in a couple regards, but yeah, it was almost like playing this game blind all over again, even though it had only been a handful of years since we last played it. So interesting stuff. Boy, I don't know if I want to try for Final Fantasy VIII. I gotta be honest, I feel like there's a good amount of prep work that needs to be done with that, and I almost want to do that like off stream, because it's like gonna be a little bit boring, I think. So we got 3 hours tonight, but not the super longest stream, but we might be able to, I don't know. The only thing about Final Fantasy VIII is it's literally just the last boss gauntlet, so even if I do take some time to kind of like navigate the menus and everything, there's a chance that we might be able to, I don't know, try something and see if we can get it to work. But I do think I kind of want to rework my Guardian Force injunctions, just to see if I can get something going that's a little bit more helpful. I mean, there are some items too. I know I got one of them hero items. Apparently it makes you invincible. I don't know if it makes you invincible for the entirety of the fight or every time the battle restarts, if it ends up being something different. There's just like a handful of things where I feel like we'd have to experiment with it just to see, and I just don't know if that it's going to end up taking a long time or not. You know what? I think I might as well just try it. I think we're going to try it and see what happens. We'll probably, next time we stream the Tomb Raider collection, we're going to be jumping like right into the next thing, so we will have Tomb Raider Chronicles to do, but we also do have the times, so next time I do this collection, we'll be getting into the times expansion. Shit, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to start a new game just to see if... I want to start a new game just to see if we can actually see if there was an expansion or something, but there wasn't. Get me out of here. But look, like when we start a new game here, then it says the times exclusive, so that is the expansion. So we'll do the times next time. And usually these expansions don't end up taking a while, so we might end up doing a little bit of Chronicles after that as well. But I guess we'll just kind of see how it plays out. Although it's going to be my first time playing through it, so it may be like super confusing. Sometimes expansions can be a little bit rough, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's it for Last Revelation. I will go ahead and switch over. We'll check out some Final Fantasy VIII. We'll see if we can maybe get through that boss battle. I'm gonna play around with like the junctions and menus and stuff for a bit, but we'll see if we can figure it out. So give me a sec. I'll be right back, and we'll get into that. Un momento, por favor.
Stick around.